it's Monday. Hope you had a great weekend and welcome back. So, if you followed my blog last week, well, you know that I'm talking about my experience with cochlear implants. I talked about losing my hearing and getting the cochlear implant surgery where a hair-like, the size of one fine hair, array of electrodes was inserted into my cochlea in an operation. And then 6 days ago, that was activated, and now I've started my rehab. So today I want to talk to you about, well, two things, cyborgs and chicken ears. Well, having a cochlear implant, it's pretty cool. I don't know if you really thought about when I told you all those details, what that means to me. Do you know what that makes me? That makes me a cyborg. A cyborg is defined as a biological organism that is technologically enhanced. And that was a term coined in the 1960s and makes you think of Terminator, RoboCop, Star Wars, and science fiction. But the fact is that science fiction is no longer science fiction. I mean, this is a fact. This is here today, and you're looking at me, and I'm a cyborg. This is the cochlear implant processor. And in case you missed it, I kind of explained it, but not in much depth. What it does is it takes sound waves and it codifies them into electrical impulses. And those electrical impulses are sent via the auditory nerve to my brain. My brain is an amazing thing, and it's really hard for me to imagine, and I think about this all the time because every day now I'm doing brain training. I'm learning to hear by training my brain through inputs, through words, through rhythms, through sounds. I'm listening to them and inputting this information. And it's kind of hard for me to believe, but I know because hundreds of thousands of people have been implanted with cochlear implants. And if they can do it, I can do it. They train their brain to learn to interpret these signals. So a really cool TED Talk that I watched, it's actually a couple years old now. It's by neuroscientist David Eagleton. And he talks about sensory substitution, which is what I'm doing. I'm substituting my sense of hearing by this technology. But he also talks about sensory addition, which is really cool to think that our brains can actually learn to do more than we do with them currently. He's working in his lab at the University of Virginia on a project where he's created a vest, and so he's taking these same sound waves and converting them into electrical impulses that we get through our skin in this vest, and that the brain is learning to understand that as sound. But he goes a step further. He's also sending information about economics and stock market information, and he's trying to get the patient in the experiment to learn to buy or sell stocks. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about what our brain is capable of. Hey, one last thing I want to talk to you about today, and talking about the marvels of science and our bodies and brain, I want to talk to you about chickens. Chickens are beautiful animals. I used to have 9 of them. They're lovely. They give you eggs, and I used to think they weren't very smart. But lately, I've been reading a lot about hearing, and I've changed my mind about chickens. Why is that? Well, there is no such thing as a deaf chicken, because chickens actually regenerate their cilia cells that have been damaged. So if a chicken loses its hearing, within 10 days, it will regrow those cells and rehook up the nerve and will be hearing again as before. That's mind-blowing. And scientists have discovered 2 molecules. They're called BMP7 and retinoid acid, which will guide the degenerated cells to regenerate themselves. And they're hoping to apply this technology sometime in the future to humans. How cool would that be if we could eradicate deafness and hearing loss in our lifetime? So something to think about, science and the power of our brains. Thanks for listening.